and then we cook. All right, beautiful. Let's do it. So, everyone, welcome to another episode of the Surgecast. I'm Ruthy, co-founder of Surgeons Labs, and today we're getting into one of the most talked about areas in crypto right now: AI agents. Previous episodes, we've had chats with Jupiter, Orbit, ETHGas, and some of the top ecosystems on the market. And now we're going to be talking on the sector of AI agents, but from an angle almost nobody is covering. So, I'm here with Simon. Down Under, founder of KeeperHub. Let's chat. Welcome.
Hey, Ruthy, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
All good, brother. So everyone is talking about agents that can think and reason, but nobody talks about what happens when an agent actually needs to do something on chain. So that last mile, exactly what you guys solve. But let's start with you, Simon. If you can give us a quick version of your background. You led DevOps at Maker. You were founding TechOps Services also, and you ran infrastructure for Sky Protocol. So all names that everyone knows about. Walk us through that journey.
Yeah, that's right. Slight correction. I didn't lead the team. I was part of the team.
Yeah.
So don't want to ruffle anyone's feathers. So yeah, but yeah, good times at Maker. Now Sky. So a little bit of my background. I'm a sysadmin, have been a system administrator for the past 20 years now, without revealing my age. So yeah, super interested in Linux and open source from the beginning, and then discovered this little thing called Ethereum, and started learning everything I could about that. So, and I thought the best way to learn about it is to get a job in the field, and that's how I got into Maker and started contributing to their team. So we were a team of DevOps engineers supporting the protocol, and making sure the lights are on, that's monitoring smart contracts, automating smart contracts. And one of the requests that we got quite often is to build these things called keepers. So, as we know, smart contracts cannot execute themselves. Somebody has to pay gas, and somebody has to monitor them as well. So, this is where you need these little automations to keep an eye on the smart contracts and execute them. So, that was the beginning of KeeperHub. And from that, we've built a platform um, around that function.
Super interesting. These protocols for those people that know or don't know, some of the biggest in the space, securing so much value as well. Now, after all those years running infrastructure for these major protocols, what made you look at the agent space and decide this was the thing to build?
Yeah, so kind of without a choice, we got forced into the agentic space. We started building the platform about a year ago, before the ChatGPT, before the Claude craze happened. Believe it or not, we were writing code by hand back then. And of course, I would call it a revolution happened over the past year, where software developers had to completely change their workflows, and agents came online.
Yeah.
So we had to, I would say, pivot a little bit to the agentic space, and to rethink who is going to do the operations on chain. So it's not going to be in the future. It's not going to be humans, fighting with MetaMask to put the transaction through. It's people are just going to be asking their agents to do the operations for them. So we've repositioned ourselves accordingly to help users to transfer their values safely on chain, using their agents. So
Okay.
this things like transferring funds or managing your DeFi positions. We specialize in doing that safely.
Yeah, and doing it in the safest way, because like I guess there's a lot of like indie hackers out there that are jumping onto the AI space, maybe using Claude Cowork to just quickly do an AI, like an agentic platform for people to put money in. But from your point of view, you're probably like, holy shit, the amount of risks that people are taking is crazy.
Well, that's right, Ruthy. It comes down to, because every time you ask agents to transfer some amount of ETH or stable coins to your friend or into your position, it has to spend tokens on that function and reinterpret what you're wanting to do every time, right? So, and we know that as smart as AI, frontier AI is at the moment, sometimes it gets things wrong. So you don't want to risk and leave it up to the agent to decide what you mean by saying, "Hey, can I transfer Ruthy to Ethereum on Tuesday?" Right. So this is where our platform comes in. Instead of leaving up to the agent interpretation to think that up, instead we get an agent to create a workflow that a human can then review, and then that workflow will be executed at a specified time. So then you know that the workflow is exactly what you intended to do. You can actually test it. You can run it without executing it, so dry run, and then execute it when you're ready for sure, which you can't actually do with agents. Yep.
And you would say that, like, obviously you spent 7+ years of running production infrastructure for these major companies in the past. Does that make a huge difference to the quality of your agents? And obviously you probably bring a huge focus to risk and security as opposed to other builders, right? And maybe also guardrails.
That's right. So on-chain transactions, as amazing as they are, they bring a lot of difficulties and complexities when dealing with that. So we know the gas can spike. We know transactions can fail. Gas spikes less now, to be fair, but the endpoints fail. So without being too technical, RPC endpoints for connecting to nodes, you have to have a stable endpoint to connect to the actual chain. If you don't have to host one, you have to pay for one, right? So there's all these variables that, and of course managing of the wallet, right? Storing of the private key and so on. So we try to abstract all of these technical aspects into one platform. Every organization on our platform gets its own wallet. We've partnered with the project called Turnkey. So they have a super secure infrastructure for providing non-custodial wallets to their users. And so, yeah, as I said, we try to abstract all of these difficulties and just provide the user and their agents one interface, one endpoint where they can transact on chain.
Yeah. Okay, understood. I want to define the problem very clearly. So let's go into that because you mentioned there um, across the industry at execution things can break, right? Things can fall apart at execution. Everyone talks about how smart agents are getting, but when it comes to execution, it doesn't do what they expect it to do. What does that actually mean when they fall apart and they break? For example, failed transactions, gas spikes, and so on.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so I already mentioned transaction can fail, gas can spike. What happens if a transactions fail, right? Or what happens if a transaction gets stuck? We don't want to create another transaction, for example, straight away and pay additional gas. So the agent needs to be aware of that intricacy, right? We want to manage what's called a nonce, which is a number of a transaction. So we have smart algorithms in place that actually do that for us, right? So instead of spending any additional gas, we manage that failed transaction. Then of course MEV that we know and love. We've seen multiple times that people get sandwiched and lose a bunch of money. So our platform can transmit that transaction privately. without having to worry that. So all those difficulties that I've mentioned previously, and these ones as well, we try to abstract it for the user so they're able to safely transact on chain.
Yeah, and then so because like obviously, if a human is doing a transaction in real time, you will see different steps like how much the gas is going to be, how much the slippage is someone going to like mev attack you, right? And but with agentic operations, because it's so fast, so quick, and so seamless, sometimes you also lose the visibility of that, and you want your agent to be well informed and have those guardrails to avoid overpaying or also even interacting with like compromised contracts and so on. Which I presume, like, how do you guys deal with that as well? Because there's been a lot of DeFi compromises out there, a lot of hacked protocols and bad contracts.
Mm-hmm. Well, we don't do the smart contract auditing. I would say that straight away. We deal a level higher, so we are able to monitor what smart contract does,
Yeah,
and we have a track record of that smart contract. So we're able to judge from that. Yeah, but
amazing.
yeah, of course, we are security first, and yeah, we work with auditing teams that can do that for us, and we can refer. But we don't host any smart contract ourselves. I would say.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We work in that transaction space, you know, so between the user lending transaction on chain or an agent lending transaction on chain. Of course, we can give a warning if for example, they're transferring to an address that hasn't been used. That they haven't dealt with previously.
Yeah, understood. Now, when people come into the website and they press start building and look into the app, it looks like a really good, intuitive application for workflow building. So you describe it as actually building visual workflows without writing code, for example. So for someone non-technical, what does this entire experience actually look like to use KeeperHub?
Yeah, so we've spent a lot of time designing the UI that people can access through their browser and view their workflows. But in the agentic space, this is actually perhaps not an entry point to someone using the platform. So right now we hear about prompt engineering. You know, people just expect to interact with computers just by typing or just by dictating. So we actually support all of those entries. So if you log into your account, create an account via the browser, we can give you an MCP endpoint that you can then add to your agent. So if you're using Claude, whatever Codex, you're then able to connect that agent to KeeperHub, and then you just talk, right? So maybe you say, "Hey, create me a workflow that transfers X amount of ETH to my friend. Hey, can you monitor my position on Sky or Aave? And then if it accumulates stable coins, can you rebalance? Can you restake those stable coins for me? You know, so you don't lose on those on that interest gain. So yeah, it's quite natural to use it, and then the UI in the browser kind of serves as a type of artifact storage. You know, so once an agent said, okay, this is all created for you, you're able to then check it in the browser, make sure it all runs correctly, and then the agent built the workflow correctly as well. And then, of course, every run is stored, so you're able to then trace if there were any errors, or just troubleshoot your transfer,
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
And so this agentic stack has been like growing rapidly, and for people like myself that aren't too deep into the agentic space, we've heard about agent frameworks like OpenClaw, etc., maybe trust layers as well, and then people pushing X402 standards and payment rails, etc. Where does KeeperHub sit within that?
Yeah. So as you mentioned before, so agentic stack. Maybe you have your agent frameworks at the very top. So this is the interface that we interact with agents. So we've heard of OpenClaw, we know Claude, Codex, those guys. Then you have your communication layer, so agents communicating out as well. So these are the things like MCP, which I already mentioned. A few things you mentioned yourself. So 8004, which is an agentic registry, which we've registered with as well. And I think because there's a website called 8004 Scan, so you can actually log in and look up an agent before trusting it. You can actually look up. They have a rating. Last time I checked, we were rated maybe like 400, which is pretty good, worldwide. Being in 400 is pretty good. And then the payment rail as well. So you mentioned 402 MPP, which we support. This is our agents paying or able to pay via stable coins on chain. And so KeeperHub sits somewhere between them. So before the payment landed and before the payment landed on chain, when the payment initiated and before the payment or value transfer landed on chain, KeeperHub makes sure that it actually happens and it actually lands. So sandwiched between those two functions, I would say.
Okay, amazing. Okay. And important. Yeah, that makes sense. An important distinction as well. So you're not competing with like agent frameworks, but actually work with them, right? You have these plugins that support. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. We love all the agent frameworks, from Pi to Claude to Cursor. We actually use all of them. And KeeperHub has plugins for Hermes agent, for OpenClaw, yeah, for others as well. So if your listeners using those agents, they very easily can leverage the functions of KeeperHub just by adding those plugins to their agents.
Yeah, and I just want to zoom out really quickly as well. Like, how big do you think agentic finance is going to get? Or like, how big is it right now?
How big is the current finance, Ruthy?
Big.
I think agentic is going to overtake that in the long run. So okay. It's just going to be the default, you know. So the online shopping that we know and love right now, it's all going to be done by agents, right? So you're not going to be going to websites and choosing a pair of sneakers. My prediction is that you're just going to be asking an agent to find you the best rated sneakers out there. It might present you 5 or 10 options for you to review, which you will have a quick glance at, but the actual purchase will be done by your agent using stablecoin.
Amazing. Okay, understood. You guys are cooking on that front.
What do you think?
What
do you think?
I remember seeing something around Polymarket where a small percentage of the active traders there, it was like 5% make up for 40% of the volume, and those 5% were agentic trading bots that people were using, and they were just entering markets, different strategies, and doing high volume every single day. And then I was thinking about how also with the movement of like intents and money flow becoming more simpler across the world, you could, and I could definitely see the Web 2 user base doing this in the future as well and being more comfortable with this. You could just tell the app whichever one you're using, to do X, Y, Z actions, whether it's to send it and just describe the action that you want to do, right? Send it to this person and then have a discussion about what details they might need, or like, hey, I want to find the most high yield saving account option that I can just deposit my money in straight away. Like, can you manage that for me? And within crypto, I started to use a few agentic functions as well. Like every now and then I have a bit of stables and I want to route it into some good vaults, and then just like put that into a dashboard so that I can keep an eye on it every now and then, right? I think it's becoming so simple because people are time poor that I believe, like you said, agentic agentic finance is going to like eat traditional finance for lunch. And people are going to love it. Yeah, agentic shopping is a big one as well. I agree with you there. I think soon these LLM networks are going to introduce a lot of agentic shopping integrations if they haven't done already, and they're going to also open up to ad networks as well, features within it. So very excited, man.
It's just an easy path forward. Like it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, and I think like when you zoom out, a lot of people say agents are going to be huge, but what do you think is missing right now that needs to be built to allow these agents to operate on chain at scale or to hit like mass adoption?
Yeah, so very early days, right? We've already mentioned communication protocols. We've already mentioned value transfer protocols, 402 and MPP. I feel like identity is still unknown, so still being worked at. If it hasn't been decided if an agent operates on its own, or should an agent be responsible for something that it has done, or should a person behind the agent be responsible? So we still haven't answered that question. Security and sandbox is big enough. We hear in the news the runaway models. So that's still unanswered question. How do we control these things? Which is kind of what the angle that we're trying to come in at.
Amazing.
So and how do we verify their work before they do it? So as the model gets smarter, it's not necessarily going to align with us in the way that we think it will, right? So if anything, a smarter model will have more choices, more ways of getting things wrong. So we need to make sure that we have systems set up in place to control the smart model. So this is where kind of what we are thinking constantly. We want the model's choices to be deterministic, right? So if we ask it something, first of all, we want to test before that lands on chain. And then second of all, we want to make sure that it's actually the thing that we asked it to be. So that's why we think a lot about determinism at KeeperHub.
Okay, yeah, bullish. Now, I want to talk about KeeperHub's future as well. Like, what's on the roadmap for you guys? Because obviously, you guys have started this this KeeperHub, and I think people come in the socials. You guys started late 2025 the page, so things are cooking this year. You guys have been moving this year a lot, but what's coming up for the rest of the year and next year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we've just been headfirst building our community. So I'm not sure if we've mentioned it before, but we're completely open source. So you can have a look at our repo on GitHub. We have a Discord server running. I think, we have developers constantly joining. We've been running hackathons for the community as well, which have been really popular. The first one we finished, we got 350 submissions, which is really amazing for a project. and we are just wrapping up a second hackathon now, and we've got 500 submissions. So the developers are out there. They see us as that layer that we mentioned. We're not just a pretty UI where you log on and click a few buttons. Developers actually using us as a layer to build on top. So developing applications to hook into the KeeperHub to provide them, on-chain safety and wallets and so on, and being open source, they're integrating with us. So yeah, building a community. We have no shortage of features that we want to build, and so it's a really, really exciting time. Yeah.
Amazing. And for usage, so for people to actually come on board, to start to use the platform as a builder, agent, developer, where do these people start? So they go to the website, because I see that you guys also have pricing tiers, right?
Yeah, that's right. So really easy way to start is to go on the websites and follow the links to connect to the app, or go to the app directly. Connect your agent to the app, which you will see it's as part of onboarding process, and then just start creating workflows. We have a very generous free tier. We charge per workflow executions. So if you only need to run a few executions, it will be completely free. Start playing around. So you've managed, you have a few stables that you want to throw at a few protocols. You can just ask your agent to do that for you, and that will create a workflow and put it in the highest earning yield protocol. So that's kind of an example prompt. Give me a highest return protocol right now in DeFi. So instead of going to Compound, instead of going to Sky, instead of going to Aave, an agent is able to work it out for you through KeeperHub, and then just transfer your stable coins in that protocol.
Yeah, amazing. And quick question as well. So you mentioned a really good use case there. Just give some other ideas and examples for users to come and trade, to set up like strategies.
Oh, look, it's anything you can do on DeFi, basically. So we have 20 plus protocol integrations already. We're constantly on the lookout what other protocols are there. And any legit ones we would love to add. As I said, we're open source as well, so we have developers submitting pull requests for their protocols that they want KeeperHub to be integrated with, and then we just expose the functions of that protocol to the agent. So the agent then sees that the protocol is supported by KeeperHub and is able to interact with that protocol. So yeah, some of the others are CowSwap, Uniswap, Aave, different networks as well. We support 20 different networks as well, EVM, including Solana. So I'd like to say a window into DeFi for your agent, So anything that you can ask your agents, and the protocol is there, KeeperHub will be able to do that for you.
No, that's bullish. Okay, I think the community is going to get excited around that. I'm sure, Strek, we can probably do a competition around people coming on board and getting creative with strategies and sharing in the Discord and Telegram. So that's good stuff, Simon. Really excited for that to be pushed to the community, and really appreciate you coming on as well, because the AI and crypto conversation has had a lot of noise, and it's refreshing to see a team that's been like head down building the product that actually has to work, and not just shouting a vision. Everyone make sure that you're following KeeperHub. So you can go to keeperhub.com to actually participate in the application, and we will be running a challenge within the Discord as well for people to build out their own workflows. So that's keeperhub.com, and also go and follow their socials. So KeeperHub app on Twitter as well. Simon, man, thank you so much, man. If you have any final notes, do share, and really appreciate that you came on.
Thank you, Ruthy. Thanks for having us. Really great to chat. Thanks for the great questions. Yeah, I guess just really encourage people and users to jump on. And there's never been a better time to build and get your hands dirty. So yeah, come get involved.
100%. Let's do it. Thank you so much, Simon. I appreciate it, man.
Thanks, Ruthy.
Okay. All right.